Welcome to No Nonsense Airbnb. This video is to help you solve the mystery of channel managers. There are so many out there. Everyone says you need one, and it can be very confusing to the hosts who are new to this business with all these technical terms used by these companies in cleverly designed marketing plans to impress new hosts. The reality is, not every host needs a channel manager, and I will cover when you should think about starting to use a channel manager, the pros and cons of using it, and the features you should look out for. So stay tuned, and as always, I will keep this video to the point, factual, because I respect your time. So let's begin. What is a channel manager? See, the basic function of a channel manager is to keep your calendar and pricing in sync across different websites. This way, you don't get double bookings, your price remains consistent everywhere. So if you list your property on just one platform, such as Airbnb, you don't need a channel manager, full stop. Another key point to note is when you connect an external software like a channel manager to your Airbnb listing, the usual Airbnb commission, which Airbnb charges hosts, increases from 3% to 15%, except for people in US and Canada. That is a 12% direct decrease in your earnings. So make sure you use it only when you really need it, and the software you choose is worth it. And don't just go for it because everyone is talking about it on social media or because you see their advertisements every time you play a video on YouTube. Now, let's look at the key features these channel managers offer, which ones are really worth the price. Apart from the essential calendar and pricing sync, there are dozens of add-on features these softwares offer, such as automated pricing, unified inbox, dynamic pricing, reporting and analytics, PMS, multi-channel integration, owner and staff portals, direct booking website, mobile app access, integration with third-party systems and smart home tools, and accounting module. Now, looking at this list, it generally sounds impressive, but to most people who are just starting or have one property, this list can look confusing, to say the least. But the good news is you don't need most of these features. So let me explain what I mean by that. Let's start with the first feature, automated messaging. Every channel manager offers this. With this feature, you configure your messages once, and the channel manager will automatically keep sending those messages to your guests. But do you know Airbnb, VRBO, and all big platforms nowadays give this functionality to hosts for free? For example, you can do the exact same thing for free using Airbnb's message automation tool. So this shouldn't be the primary criteria for you to choose a channel manager. Next is unified inbox. With this feature, you can access all guest messages in one place without having to log in to different websites to check messages and respond to them. This indeed is a time saver, and it is kind of a basic feature everyone offers nowadays. Next is dynamic pricing. Channel managers simply facilitate the integration with an external dynamic pricing software, which you will need to purchase separately at the cost of an additional cost. The dynamic pricing software will send the price to the channel manager, which will then sync it across the different listings you have on different platforms. But on the other hand, all dynamic pricing softwares offer a direct integration with all major platforms as well. So you don't necessarily need a channel manager to use a dynamic pricing software. You can still use them by directly connecting them to your Airbnb, VRBO, or Booking.com listing. Next is reporting and analytics. It does exactly what the name says, and it initially may sound great, but you may not use it as much as you think unless you have a massive portfolio of properties and owners to report to. Plus, most of the platforms like Airbnb, VRBO provide similar reports to hosts for free. So this should not be a qualifying criteria for a host with just a couple of properties, I believe. Next is PMS. which stands for property management software. It is mainly for managing day-to-day operations of your staff, inventory, and customer management. You definitely do not need this feature unless you are running a big hotel or a big team to run your day-to-day operations. And for that reason, it shouldn't be a qualifying criteria when you are choosing a channel manager for your short-term rental, because you simply won't use it. Next is multi-channel integration. Now, this is a biggie and one of the most effective selling point these software companies use to impress inexperienced hosts. They will show you dozens of websites you will be able to list your property on, and they will sync your property on all of them. It sounds very impressive and a brilliant idea, because the more websites you can list your property, the better it is, right? Not really so. The reality is twofold. Firstly, it takes a lot of time and energy to create a listing on a platform and to maintain it regularly. And secondly, the only platform which gets booking nowadays are three: Airbnb, VRBO, and Booking.com. Any other platform you list your property on is simply going to distract you from focusing on these three platforms. And you should feel lucky if you ever receive a booking from any other platform. I too fell for this marketing gimmick when I started many years back, and I learned this the hard way. So take my advice and don't let them fool you. Airbnb, VRBO, and Booking.com is all you need to integrate with, and you will have plenty of bookings in your calendar to look after. Next is owner and staff portal, which simply means you can create a login for different people and give them different levels of access, such as you can give calendar access to the cleaners so they can access the bookings and schedule cleanings accordingly. This can be a useful feature for some busy hosts, but there are ways you can easily achieve the same results, such as just by adding cleaner as a co-host to your Airbnb listing, or you can even sync your listing calendar with their Google or iPhone calendar. So this should not be a deciding factor for a host with one or two properties. Another one is direct booking website. Just like multi-channel integration, idea of having your own direct booking website sounds great, but it is not going to give you any result. And the reason I say that is because if you're expecting people will find your website on Google and book your property, it is not going to happen, because Airbnb and all other similar platforms are spending millions of dollars to stay on top of Google search result. Your website isn't going to be visible to people anywhere. Even you will struggle to find your website on Google unless you type in the exact URL of your website. And secondly, let's say your website somehow beats all these odds and you do manage to secure bookings. Then brace yourself to deal with complete strangers who have booked your property without going through any kind of ID verification. You don't have any protection of Airbnb in case they cause issues during the stay, or in the worst case, they damage the property or start a chargeback on their credit card after their successful stay. In summary, having a direct booking website isn't going to help you in a way that it appears from a distance, and it shouldn't be a criteria when choosing a channel manager. Mobile app access is another feature they often advertise. It is a useful feature to have so you can continue to manage your business when you're on the go, but it is pretty standard now in this time and age. So make sure the channel manager you choose offers a reliable phone app, and you can look for the phone app reviews on App Store to see what other people say about its reliability and usefulness. Next is integration with third-party systems and smart home tools. This is probably the most important and often underrated add-on only a few channel managers offer. Being able to connect with third-party systems, be it your smart lock, a smart thermostat, a smoke detector, or a noise detector, the possibilities are endless with this feature. So you should definitely look for this in a channel manager. It will save you time and money in the long run, as having integration with smart home devices also increases the energy efficiency and security of your property. And the last one is accounting module. This helps you clearly see how your business is doing financially. You can generate invoices for owners if you manage other people's properties, and you will be able to accurately report your earnings, etc. But the downside is these modules need regular, diligent user input to maintain them and to get anything useful out of them. If you have never used a record keeping software before, you have a steep learning curve ahead of you. And because of that, in my opinion, if you are the owner of one or two properties, you will be better off maintaining your records in an Excel sheet somewhere. So don't fret over it. It shouldn't be a deal breaker when choosing a channel manager for your small short-term rental business. And before I wrap up, if you are wondering which softwares I use to run my Airbnb business, I will leave the links in the description below for you to check them out. I don't want to mention the name of any software in this video or give any recommendation because this is not a promotional video. I want to keep it factual. My objective is to share the knowledge and experience I have and to help you separate out wheat from the chaff. And hopefully this will help you make a wise decision in the future when you're choosing the channel manager. And to make things even easier for you, I will leave links to some of the most reliable channel managers out there, which I have seen. So make sure you check them out, compare their features, what they offer, and hopefully you will be able to choose the right one for your needs and at a reasonable price. If I have missed mentioning a key feature in this video, or if you do not agree with my views on some of these add-ons, please drop me a comment and I will be happy to be corrected and learn from your experiences. I truly hope you find this video useful. Please leave me a comment if you can. It will encourage me to make more such videos in the future. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. Wish you all the best and happy hosting.